that is to talk about Akkadian loanwords in the Talmud or something similar, but there's a good reason for that. I have two methodological reasons why I don't want to do that. Number one, I don't think if you start looking for things, you'll find them. So I don't want to think it's necessarily correct to do to look at the Talmud and then start looking around for Mesopotamian parallels. The thing to do is, which I hope to do today, is to look at a Talmud passage and to say, what is the background of this passage? Where does the text take us to? How can we interpret the text in a light of this background? It's going to be Babylonian, it's in Bavli, but it doesn't matter whether, in which direction it's coming from. Our job is to try to explain the text as we have it. And I also took a text, the other reason I took a text, a very difficult, intriguing, puzzling, fun, interesting text, is because I also wanted to face with this methodological problem, that it's usually considered sufficient to take a 100-year-old volume of Preuss and to say this is Talmudic medicine. Now, first I thought I would call this lecture Goodbye Julius Preuss, but now I decided to call it Auf Wiedersehen Julius Preuss. Not that we have to dispense with Preuss. We have to just put him away for a while. We have to use a different methodology. And we have to try to build up the case to see where the Talmudic medicine is coming from. Is it coming from a Greek environment? Is it coming from a Babylonian environment? Some others we don't identify. And then we can use Preuss for this because he's got a very good collection of data. But we have to also think in terms of texts which aren't in Preuss. That is, medicine itself is a social institution. It's the one science which we all need. We don't all need astrology. We don't all need chemistry. We can get along with basic arithmetic. We don't need mathematics. Everybody needs medicine. So it touches everyone. So this is why throughout the Talmud, one is likely to find medicine in unlikely places. So it's not good enough simply to look for all the medicine we want to find in the Talmud in Preuss and think we have it. So this is an example of what I'm trying to do today. To try to present something which is a little bit offbeat, to look at this text and to see if we can follow and trace it back and see if we can put things into some kind of a context. Now, having said that, I have to say sometimes it's fun to speculate. Now, often, the evidence in the assembled data and logical inferences all converge on a point which we can't really explain. And at this juncture, we usually give up. Sort of in frustration, and we say, well, we don't know. Or we can allow our imaginations to try to come up with some solutions. So this is what I'd like us to do today. Indulge in fantasies and to abandon some sobriety and the usual sort of dull responses to age-old questions. And particularly what's interesting is this text that we're looking at now, Talmud Gittin 67b. It's not a new text. Lots of people know it. It's been translated and discussed many times. It's about the exilarch who was officially recognized head of the Babylonian Jewish community, the Reish Galutah. Now, this Reish Galutah not only had to negotiate his authority with the Persian authorities, but he also had to deal with unruly and independent-minded rabbis who did not always appreciate the Reish Galutah's penchant for state banquets and musical soirees. The Reish Galutah was rich, influential, and virtually powerless. A toxic mixture for some of these important rabbis. Now, this text from Bavli Gittin 67 is interesting because it occurs within a clear medical context. And it's commenting on this famous Mishnah mentioning the disease Cordiacus. Now, you have the disease, you have the Mishnah, you have the here in front of you. Now, the reason why Cordiacus is important is that, as Philip van der Eyck, this great medical historian in Berlin, explained to us in one of our joint sessions, is that Cordiacus is not a common Greek word. It's a very highly technical and rather rare and unusual Greek word for a disease. So it's not that the rabbis were simply taking a normal Greek term and incorporate into the Mishnah. They were taking a highly technical medical term and using it in the Mishnah, and it is absolutely clear that the rabbis with Amoraim in Babylonia really didn't understand it at all. This goes back to the question we just had with Bulimos and Achaz and whether it's a demon or not. Whenever you don't understand a word like this, you make it into a demon. Now, this text is an extremely interesting one. So we have a text here about the Reish Galutan, Rav Sheshet, which occurs in a clear medical context. We'll come back to that. Now, I've taken this, adopted a translation from this recent book by Jeffrey Herman of 2012, with some little comments in it, but it's very interesting text to follow. Huh? And I think we should just read it because it's important to get all the details out of it. So the Reish Galutan says to Rav Sheshet, "Why don't you dine with us?" So he replied, "It's because your servants are not really excellent." Now look, Michael Sokolov may have improvements already to the vocabulary here. So I'm open to suggestions. Remember, I'm not a professional economist, huh? So I'm guided by standard words. Huh? So your servants are not really excellent. What that means, I'm not sure, but they are suspect of, and Jeffrey Herman puts the word severing in here. That's a limb to the Eva Menachai. Yes, they are suspect. They are suspected of Eva Menachai. I think that's perfectly all right as a translation, huh? Here. And then the Reish Galutan says to him, who says this? Right? How do you know this? You have to prove it. So Rav Sheshet says, well, I'll show you. So he goes to his attendant and he says something rather remarkable to him. He says, Zil Ganov, go steal. How would you know? Rav Sheshet shouldn't have his servant stealing things. Zil Ganov Kara, they go steal a limb, presumably a limb of an animal. Huh? So he brings it to him. So then Rav Sheshet says to the servants, presumably to the servants of the Reish Galutan, he says, now this is the wrong passage. That is in the screen.
The words start the same way.
Yeah. Is it?
Towards the bottom of the page.
Yeah, this is the one I want. Yeah, this is the one I want. You have it on the handout and you also have it here. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I want you to have it in both cases. Huh? So he says, bring me a lamb and animal. He brought it to him. Then he says, cut up the limbs of this animal for me. So what do? They bring 3 limbs and place them before him. He says to them, this animal only has 3 legs. So, right? Right? So they cut off another limb. Presumably, another limb is restored. They cut off, as all the text says. They brought it to him from elsewhere, placed it before him. And then he says to his servant, okay, now bring your limb, the one I told you to steal. He puts it down, and then he says, now we have, is this a 5-legged animal? So this is the proof that Rav Sheshet provides that we have Eva Menachai. Now, then we carry on with the rest of the passage. I think we're going to other passages now because it's important. Oh yeah. So now he says, okay, make a compromise. And the Reish Galutan now says to Rav Sheshet, okay, let them do everything, prepare everything in front of your servant, and then you will be able to eat. The whole issue is that he won't dine with the Reish Galutan. Huh? So he says, to life. Huh? A kind of expletive here. And they bring him a tray, and they set before the meat before him. And then they do something else. They sent him, now this is an emendation, Dastana, I think I found this also in your dictionary rather than Ristana. They bring him a Dastana Chamata. That means a portion, and this is a Persian word, Dastana, huh? Yes. A portion which can choke a mother. Huh? What is this? Now, so he felt it, Kashashi felt it, and he took it, and he wrapped it into his turban, his soutwa. And then after he ate, then the servant said, And this, I think, maybe on the other passage, we may go off our text. Yes, but it doesn't matter. The important word here, the goblet, they say a goblet has been stolen, huh? And then they come and they looked in the matter and they found, so they had to search him, so they looked in his turban and they found this distanad that could choke a mother-in-law, and they found it in his turban. And they said, see, he didn't want to come and eat, he wanted to come and to afflict us. This is the crucial word here. This is the crucial word here that we have to pay attention to, right? He replied to them, I did eat, but it tasted chivara, whiteness. So they said, no. We have not handled, we didn't do anything today which had chivara involved in it. Huh? No whiteness today. Huh? So then he said, look at this animal, and Matchistus said, he gave a rule. So this is a rule, he said, black in place of white, and white in place of black indicates illness. And they examined and found this to be the case. Now, what is this text all about? How do we understand it? Now, the story goes on a bit longer that Rav Sheshet